Nate writes in, who spits on the mics the most during your time at WFAN?
Oh my! What kind of question is that? I won't get into. I'm gonna leave that. I probably did a number of times.
Is that in the book, the Joe B book one day on your radio and
There'll never
broadcasting
be a
career?
book. There'll never be a book. Never. They'd have
Oh
to.
man.
They'd have to pay me a shitload of money. They'd have to pay me a minimum six-figure retainer for me to even consider doing a book. Minimum.
It'd be an amazing read, Joe, because your memory is encyclopedic. Like you could talk about stories growing up in the '60s, like the story you told on this show about going to the Jets Chiefs playoff game in
Oh my
1969
God.
like the details you remember from that. It's astonishing.
Yeah. No, I'll never forget that game. That was kind of the beginning of the end, and it's like 55 years ago now. Are you kidding? Oh, that game was, man. I'll tell you. I told you the story. I'm begging my mother, this guy in my class, because the game was blacked out. You couldn't see it in New York, right? This was the days of the blackout. What a joke that was. Okay, so I'm begging my mother. I got to see this game. And my team's in the playoffs. I got to see it. Right? It was a Saturday afternoon game too, and my mother came through. There was a guy in my class. I was a junior in high school, and he was selling his tickets. And my mother came. I said, "Look, I don't have to have anything else for Christmas. This is what I want." Bought the tickets. I think they were about $20 a piece. Could you imagine that? Had seats down in the end zone below. It was brutally cold. Let me tell you, it was brutal, windy, cold, and Namath had a terrible game. 14 for 40 that day. He threw 3 interceptions. They had a first. They were down 6-3. They had a first and goal on the 1-yard line, and they couldn't put it in. They wound up kicking a field goal, right? And this Chief team, by the way, was one of the great defensive teams of all time. They had 6 Hall of Famers on the defense. And I'll never forget watching the biggest play of the game after they stop us on the goal line. Len Dawson hits the great Otis Taylor, who should be in the Hall of Fame, for about a 50-yard pass right down the middle. And then 2 plays later, I believe it was Gloucester Richardson catches what turned out to be the game-winning touchdown pass. We're down 13-6. We're getting the ball back late in the game, about a minute something to go. We're getting a good field position as they punt to us. And we had this guy, Mike Battle, who had a big punt return for a touchdown in that exhibition game against the Giants. When we played the Giants after we won the Super Bowl and we beat them, it was like a regular season game. We had to win for a preseason game. Killed them 37-14. Battle had an interception return and a touchdown for a touchdown in that game. He fumbles this punt, and Kansas City recovers it, and the game was over. And I'll never forget, man, you talk about being bummed out. But little did I know, this was only the beginning of me being bummed out. Who knew? Like, this was like a good thing. We actually lost the divisional playoff game. What? Come on. So
And then what you got on the subway and then
got in the
tell that
subway,
part. Yeah.
right? And I never forget, some guy was drunk, and he was on the subway next to us, and he goes, he doesn't remember anything about the game, and he says, "Did we win?" And the guy says, "You don't want to know." I remember the guy was like sober that was with him, like, "You don't want to know." I'll never forget that.
That's why you could write a book, Joe. These stories are it's from 1969. You told it like it happened 2 days ago.
Oh man, I'll never forget that.
Right.
And then let me tell you this story too. On the same day, I get home that night. It's a Saturday, and I got a phone call at home. Remember, I'm a junior in high school, so my testosterone level is through the roof, and I'm all like, and I'm all like bummed out. The Jets just. I get a phone call from this girl who wanted to go out with me, who I wanted no part of, and I remember that night. And I had to be like nice about it. I mean, I didn't want to see this girl, and I didn't. By the way, I just want you to know. So I made a few mistakes like that. Did I ever tell you while we rolling here, we're telling Benigno's life story here? It's almost time. I've been on here for an hour. I got to go to ShopRite in a minute and shopping. But let me just tell you this. So I was a freshman in college, right? And I used to go to this place called the Marshmallow up here in New City, New York, to go. I could still dance. I still, as you know, I still got.
You still got it.
I
Yeah.
still got Travolta-esque moves. So anyway, so we used to go dancing every Friday and Saturday night. This is in the summer after I was home from college. And this girl, we met her at this place at the Marshmallow. Nice girl, Italian girl, nice, not bad, but not great look. She wasn't great. I really didn't want to, do anything with her. And she has tickets for me to see the Rolling Stones at the Garden. Wait a minute. And this is the heyday. Forget the Rolling Stones now. Everybody's 1,000 years old. Keith and Mick, I don't know how they're still alive. But anyway, this is the heyday. This is like 1972, right? Wow. The Stones are at the height of their freaking power. you know. And this girl invites me to go to. She got tickets for the Stones. She wants me to go to the Stone concert with her. And I made. You talk about dumb decisions. I said I didn't go because I wasn't crazy about this girl. And as I look back, 50 plus years ago, whatever the hell it was, it's one of the dumbest decisions I ever made that I didn't go to that concert and that I didn't, probably have sex with her too. I probably should have done that too, So it was kind of like a double whammy, but anyway, that was, what can I say?
1972, the Rolling Stones.
I'll never forget that.
That's a legendary concert. I mean, you'd be
wow. Bro, let me tell you, I so regret, and I've never seen them, right? And I so regret not going to that concert. Oh my God.